Twice a Week Podcast, episode 20.
All right.
We're here with our first guest, Mr. Nick from the Badlands Bar, New York Knicks.
God, good evening and welcome to it. And I want to thank the guys for inviting me down, inviting me in, and letting me do what I'm doing. I had no idea. They duped me. They stumped me. I had no idea that we were going to be doing a video thing. I thought this was just audio for a radio.
Nope.
That's what neighbors do.
Yeah.
Hi, neighbors.
Yeah.
We had no idea that we lived right down the road. After a couple times to figure out that we were neighbors.
Yeah. Funny. I mean, we did your show with you.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
No idea.
Nope.
Came back a year later. You live 5 houses down from me.
Yeah.
On the same side of the road.
Right down the road, on the same side of the road, because we started talking about Gulf Breeze and then where we lived, and same subdivision. Then, holy crap, 5 doors down. Then I was like, oh, you guys are the ones that had the mailbox incident.
That's right. Yeah. Oh my gosh, that was crazy. That thing was sitting out in front of the yard for how long?
For
So long.
a month and a
I mean,
half,
luckily we have a neighbor right here who has a bobcat, and he eventually loaded it up into his dump truck.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, that thing is like 500 pounds.
Oh, those are solid.
They're
It was
insane.
solid. Yeah, it was
Yeah.
solid concrete and cinder block.
Very
and brick.
expensive too. We got like $1,200 for it, and then put up a $30 mailbox.
Yep.
My kind of neighbors.
That's how you fucking do it, right
Door-
there.
That's right. Forget about it.
Forget about it.
Yeah.
So Nick, tell me about. I found out the other day. So New York Knicks. I knew Badlands Bar was there, but I never knew that New York Knicks was a restaurant. So tell me about
Okay.
the restaurant.
All right, so, 20 years ago, there was nothing downtown besides maybe a half a dozen to a dozen shops and services downtown.
Yeah.
Downtown
Okay.
was just nothing. Buddy of mine was bartending on the beach at the same time that I was, that we left the beach in 1999 and 2000. He opened up Intermission. You know that bar. It's
Right.
Mike.
Yeah.
And I opened up, my first bar was the Old Town Tavern, which was at the bottom of the Days Inn Hotel. And it got so
Okay.
big so fast, I sold out, and then I opened up the New York Knicks, which was a rock and jock and pub and grub. Because I had a stage. I had rock bands, and I had the jock with the sports. I had the rock and the jock and the pub and the grub with the food.
Right.
And it was just like, wow. And it was huge. It was
Yeah.
big, and it went off. And I opened that in 2003. 2004, the hurricane hit. Hurricane, what was it, Ivan,
Ivan.
and wiped out a lot of the bands that I had and a lot of other stuff. And it wiped out a sports bar that was over on Gregory Street called Damon's.
Huh.
And then sure as shit, I said, well, you know what? I'll get rid of the stage, and I'll just go to all sports. And I went to a sports bar. That lasted 13 years. And then,
Damn.
Yeah. So now your place under Days Inn, is that where they do the comedy stuff now?
yeah, it was the Old Town Tavern. Then they called it the Old Town Cavern.
Mhm.
Then it went to the I can't remember all the different names it's been. But
Yeah.
yeah, that's the place. But it really ended up turning into a shithole. Is that okay? Can I say shithole?
Absolutely.
No,
Yeah,
you
yeah.
did.
It really,
You're
it
good.
really.
Say what you
Anything
want.
goes.
Okay, it just thanks, Mason. It just really disintegrated Nick to a
Yeah.
I just want to say I was born in 2003, so that just really trips me out, dude.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
I was still.
Yeah.
Let me tell you what I was doing in 2003.
Yeah, well, please, please.
Opening bars and restaurants.
Yeah.
But yeah. So, anyways, people were betting against us. They said downtown, you guys were crazy. You're out of your mind.
Right.
You got to go up near the malls and stuff like that. Well, we
Yeah.
knew what was going on around the country.
Yeah.
With everybody rediscovering their waterfront, their warehouse, and their historical districts downtown. Everybody started creating entertainment districts everywhere in the country.
Yeah.
So that was just a no-brainer. And now look at it. Now, they laughed at us 20 years ago. Now,
Right.
Well, on that note, what do you see happening now downtown? What's kind of your?
it's just going to spider.
Yeah.
Everything, you got your main core right there where Palafox began. And now, they're creating where Perfect Plain has created their little district there.
Yeah.
Over there towards Seville, going that way toward the southeast. All the way over. Look at Union Public House over by the ballpark. Everything is spiraling and spidering, as you were saying.
Right.
It's just growing.
Yeah.
It's going to do nothing but grow.
Right.
Get bigger and better.
Would you say maybe things will build up?
You mean go higher? You mean
yeah,
start
is
the
that a
because of
potential?
the density? No.
Right.
This is Pensacola. It's not going to go that much higher.
Yeah.
There's I think there's a cap
There-
on the height of buildings. And
Right. Yeah, that was going to be my
Because
next
of the,
question.
Well, the Navy base.
Okay.
The Navy base,
Right.
the airport. Well, there's like 3 airfields.
Is there a
around
cap?
there.
Well, there's Portofino. Like, what's the cap on the beach? Because I feel like that strip of bars
beach
could
is
definitely add a level.
15 to 18 stories on the beach.
Hmm.
Downtown, the tallest building is that one building is like 10
Morgan and
stories.
Morgan.
For the people.
Morgan and Morgan, Morgan, Morgan.
Morgan, Morgan.
For the people.
Morgan, 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 Morgan.
Those guys are
By the people.
They got a freaking building in every fucking city, dude. Those dudes are insane. So, wait, you pretty much just named like all of your big business endeavors. Have you pretty much been successful since
Yeah,
the
this is
first
my
one?
third one. Now, the end of New York Knicks was 5 years ago only because somebody came in and bought the whole city block. This is what happens. Guys like Mike Ashby and myself who create the little places, mom and pop, and we 7 days and 7 nights, and then holy crap, we got to jump on it. So all the multimillionaires and all the other people come in with bigger money and they buy you out and buy you up. Well, somebody bought the entire block, the building that I'm in.
Okay.
I had a long-term lease. Bottom line, he had to make me an offer that I couldn't refuse because he wanted my space.
Yeah.
And
Right.
he did. He made me an offer I couldn't refuse, and I got a bar out of it. I don't have to worry about food and this and that anymore. It's just booze in, booze out.
Yeah.
And I'm front and center in the middle of Palafox.
Yeah,
Yes,
you've
you
got
are.
Except I'm across from that shithole, Wild Greg. Oh my God, that sheep shanking, hillbilly humping, NASCAR loving, more tattoos than teeth on
Fuck
their
Wild
women.
Gregs, dude. I'm with you on that. Hell yeah.
Oh my
Yeah.
God.
Thank you for saying that. That needed to be
I have to.
said.
I have to have security every night that they're open, just because of what's across the street.
Yeah.
And they always say the best entertainment is free entertainment, but some of that, I mean, it's just a shit show. It really
Yeah.
is. But that's neither here nor there.
Yeah.
I'm with you on that, Nick. Please.
But
thank
I'm
you for
right
saying
across the street from them.
that. Across the street. I'll tell you what, though. New York, the Badlands Bar is sick. All the rock. What I love about that bar is going in there and being able to see like all these Eric Clapton guitars. I get to see all this classic rock and roll paraphernalia, and you don't get to see. That's like it's almost like a rock and roll like museum.
Yeah. Now everything is authentic in there, and some places you go to places like a Hard Rock, they have authentic pieces too. That you go to Hard Rock casinos and stuff like that. But then there's other places you go to Applebee's, and they got stuff that they've manufactured. It's just
Yeah.
printed,
Right.
copied, and all that crap.
Yeah.
But yeah, a lot of the stuff that I have in there, I've gathered out, for the years and collector's items, memorabilia. That's just
Which is it's a breath of fresh air because like you said with Applebee's, you're so used to going in somewhere and it's like it's rock and roll themed, and then you got like a pop out painting of Jimi Hendrix and one like Stratocaster guitar and that's it. You don't have anything that's actually real.
the beauty of perfect example. And as the stuff I have and the people age and as they pass away, I got an autographed Rolling Stones guitar. Charlie Watts just passed away, so now the value in that will go up.
Another reason for your security every night.
Yeah.
And, yeah,
For real.
exactly. But I got 17 cameras in there. Every inch of the place is covered. So
All right.
Yeah.
in case anybody gets any funny ideas.
Yeah.
Right.
And it's all insured. There's a memorabilia insurance company that.
Oh, that's
insures.
cool.
I had a girl fly. I flew a girl in for 2 days and nights to get
A quote.
the quote and all that stuff like that. And she says, you know how I know that you have stuff that's worth money is when I see stuff I've never seen before.
Mm-hmm.
So stuff that's not out there yet.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which makes it worth to go visit the bar in the first place. I love going there and just looking at the stuff.
It's just a bar. It's not a craft bar. It's not a draft bar. It's not it's we don't do trivia. We don't do bar bingo. We don't do karaoke. All the rest of that shit like that.
Yeah.
Mason got that.
It's like I can't wait till I can
it's
karaoke.
just a bar. It's great. And that's what,
I'm gonna play some real music like Kesha.
just a small town girl living in a lonely world. Oh my
Exactly,
God!
dude.
Every time that song comes on, I know what's going to happen. 8 seconds after I hear the piano introduction to "Don't Stop Believing," and God, poor Steve Perry. He's got to, he's butthole tightens up every time somebody starts singing that.
Yeah.
Oh, God, mine does too. Oh, God.
Gosh,
You guys should know because you guys are doing what you're doing here with your production, your singing, and your all that stuff like that. It's like some of that stuff you guys hear. Do you guys go to karaoke bars? Do you go and hear that shit sometimes?
I've gone to the
Sometimes,
Shaker
yeah.
on Sunday nights and heard the karaoke before.
Have you done it?
Oh yeah. I'm sorry.
No, don't be sorry. No, don't be sorry. There's some
Don't
people that's what it's for. It should be done.
Yeah.
I got talked into going on stage once after a Rolling Stones concert in New Orleans. There's a place called the Cat's Meow.
Yeah.
And I got talked into going up there, and I know I have no voice like that. And the guy said, the place was just, everybody knew who I was up there, all the way over from here. And I had him find the Clash. Should I stay or should I go? And that's all I did. I got up there. Darling, you gotta let me know.
Oh, yeah,
should I stay or should I go? And I was like, go! And I tossed the microphone to the guy, and that was the loudest applause all night. I walked off the stage.
There you go.
Was it because shit?
Self-awareness.
Oh,
Self-awareness pays off.
Beautiful.
Especially all the years of listening to bands and music and guys like you that do acoustic duos, whatever. Something that's reality, not that. Put on somebody else's music and think that you could be Stevie Nicks or Joe Perry or Steve Perry,
Right.
Yeah.
Well, thank you.
Yeah,
So you do your radio show, your internet radio show, Radio Free Pensacola.
It's an actual, it's an actual radio station, and I got probably 22 DJs that do their own shows from their own locations. So, yeah, I do mine on Tuesday night.
That's
right. Yeah, well, you've had us on 2 times. We're very grateful for that. We know that our style of music isn't necessarily your favorite, and you had us on anyways, and we really appreciate it, man. It's really cool of you.
Mm-hmm.
Did you start? You were doing radio, a different type of radio before that, correct?
I used to be an FM DJ. I started in college in the 70s, college radio when.
And where was that at?
This was State University of New York.
Okay.
And
that's
Buffalo?
where you're from?
And it was in Canton, actually. It's Canton, New York.
Okay.
That's where I was from, Syracuse. But this was in the end of the 70s. Now, you got to remember, back then, it was, disco was there was disco. But the beauty of what happened at the end of the 70s was this thing called punk rock. And, new wave, we call it, and then some even no wave, because that's when Elvis Costello came out, and the Ramones, the Clash, the Sex Pistols, all that anti-fuck disco sucks.
Yeah.
Staying alive. That's all it is, staying alive. So this was the answer to it. So that was great for FM radio DJs. The beauty of FM back then, the DJs made the station.
Yeah.
The DJs were the radio personality. I wanted to become a DJ because of FM radio. And I knew I had no ability and no coordination. I couldn't sing. I couldn't play the drums. I couldn't play guitar. I couldn't do anything. I had no coordination for anything like that.
Yeah.
So God bless you guys, anybody who can. My hero was Phil Collins doing the drum things that Phil Collins did and stuff like that. So, I became a DJ. I played everybody else's music, and I just loved it. Then I got on the FM radio, and this one station, I won't even name the station, but it was like, okay, you got to come to work and you got to be stoned. We want you on the air. Like I said, so they didn't want the AM. Hey, Casey Kasem here, and the top 40, and we spin the platters that matter, and no, it's like we're. Oh, I can't. There it is.
Timestamp.
We're done. 96.9, the Rock of Central New York, and this is the Grateful Dead, and that's how they wanted the show.
Okay.
And that's what it was. It wasn't all hyped up. It
Chill
was
and sexy.
all chill. The lights were all down in the studio. You're in a room, about the size of a bedroom, with everything around you, all alone, no windows, no nothing. Everything was just all. It was awesome, lava lamps and stuff like that.
That's cool.
If you don't mind me asking, you don't have to answer, but what does that type of job pay, or what did it back then?
Back then, here's what it paid. You got free music, you got free concert tickets, and a lot of girls.
Okay.
Because you were on the
worth
radio,
a lot.
and you go do your live broadcast from somewhere, and you're New York Nick. Oh, you're Nick at night. My show was the Overnightmare. And I was playing Frank Zappa, stuff that you would never hear on radio nowadays. And back then it was just great.
And so you're doing that. How much freedom do you have to play? So let's say you hear a new band and you go buy their album and then you go to your radio station. Do you have complete freedom to say, I found this new punk rock band?
Back in the beginning in the 70s, you had complete freedom. This is what they wanted. They wanted
cool.
Every Tuesday the music would come in, the free music from all the different artists. Columbia and Sony and everything like that, and Atlantic Records. And you went through and you listened to you just listened. Everybody, you dropped the needle. There was no CD players, skipping and stuff. You dropped the needle and it played.
Yeah.
And of course, you caught a buzz and you listened. Oh God, look at that! You knew track 3 or track 5. There was no, hey, this is the hit. Number 1 song to play.
Yeah.
There were 45s that came out, but those went to AM stations because they were playing all the hits.
Yeah.
So we had a lot of freedom back then.
That's weird. AM stations were playing the hits.
AM top 40. That's what AM was, top 40 stations. Oh yeah, Casey Kasem in the top 40. Yeah, the top 40. They were doing all the Casey and the Sunshine Band and the beat, all the stuff like that, and Tony Orlando and Dawn and crap. I remember that shit back in the 70s.
Yeah.
All those hit makers and but then again, here's FM radio, Led Zeppelin, Black fucking Sabbath.
There you go.
Stuff like that. Deep Purple. Those were all the hard rockers back then.
Mm-hmm.
And then as the time went on, this format got tightened up. We got to do this, we got to give them that, and then it started getting shitty. They started becoming corporate. Now the beauty of overnight radio,
and stuff.
Well, the beauty of overnight radio was from midnight to 6. It wasn't what they call a rated day part where they have the ratings and stuff. So the overnight, I did what I wanted.
It's a free for all.
My overnightmare.
Just the best job ever.
That's cool. So you're working a day job during the day, and then you're going in. And
I was bartending on the beach in the day, and I was going in at night. And it was like second job, but I looked forward. Looked forward to both my jobs. I was on the beach all day looking at girls, in bikinis, and making money, and I was in the radio at night playing all my music and catching a buzz and having a blast.
So was your initial dream to continue in that lifestyle, which you are now, but being the radio guy, FM, continuing that, or switching over, or whatever, or did you always think you wanted to own your own business?
I knew I wanted to own my own bar and restaurant. I knew what I wanted to do the first day. I worked in my uncle's restaurant as a busboy at 14. I was a freshman in high school. My first day in, my eyes lit up. He owned his own seafood restaurant in Syracuse, and I know what I want to do. I want to own my own bar or restaurant because they were all elegant back then.
Yeah.
They're still dressing like good fellas and stuff like that.
Right.
That's how they were. The restaurants, everybody dressed up back then, and I knew that's what I wanted to do. There's no going back to what you were saying earlier. There's no money in radio.
Okay.
Being a DJ, you get the benefit. It's benefits.
Yeah.
Free concerts, free
Right.
music, and girls, and a party.
Yeah. Yeah.
Of course,
do it for
that's why you say a little bit like musicians,
Well, yeah,
especially
you do
with
it for the love of
especially with the party and the girls,
Well, we've made $0 doing the music and the podcast thing,
Yeah.
but it's just the love of it,
It's just love it and the
Yeah.
and then exposure. Now, last year, this might have happened with you. I don't know how long you've been doing this, but last year the pandemic was great for radio because people were stuck at home.
Right.
And of course, TV. TV used to be good, just like MTV used to be good. They actually played videos and concerts.
Right.
But now with the pandemic, people being home, they were looking for all kinds of stuff. They were going everywhere on the dial, and whoever was doing whatever, it was like, wow. So that kind of really put the station on the map.
And what you were saying earlier about in the 70s, how it was the DJ that made the radio station. I think a form of that is making a circle back around right now, because I see small podcasts and things like that completely outnumbering like these big talk shows like Jimmy Fallon, and then you have all this stuff going on. I feel like people are they're hungry for real people to be doing a real production as opposed to like a corporate sponsor or a corporate daddy paying for this production, and then they get to say, this is the content you're putting out, blah 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 blah.
Yeah.
There's a resurgence of things like what you were doing coming back.
If you have a game plan, if you have a direction, if you have a focus in doing what you guys like what you're doing, what do they call these people? Like what are the TikToker,
Influencers.
The influencer things,
Yeah.
people that are influencers,
Yeah.
because she's modeling bikinis.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, good, God bless her for modeling bikinis for me, but it's like it's just like you're looking at her live on a TikTok thing, TikTok. I gotta remember it's TikTok. Versus the Sears catalog where you're looking through and flipping pages of the girls in the underwear, like Victoria's Secret catalogs, stuff like that. everything's changing. Everything changes. 20 years ago there was no internet. There was no, there were no cell phones and stuff like that. So I don't, I'm not very much a part of that. I am it's free. It's great advertising.
Oh yeah.
For the radio station, for the bar, and it's free. You get that stuff out there. I don't do it all the time like some of these places do. Yep, leave me alone. I'm sorry.
It's okay, man.
You're good.
So, if we can take this part out if you want. My understanding is you posted it on Facebook, though. You recently hit the jackpot on some lotto.
Well, it was a jackpot. Anything over $1,000 or anything 1,000 or more is a jackpot. Yeah, I sell lottery at the bar, which it's just great.
And you're a professional scratcher.
I'm a professional scratcher because are you kidding me? Okay, the reason why I am a professional scratcher, and I never did it before. I have my lottery numbers. I play for Lotto and Mega Millions, and I play those. I never scratched before. Then I started selling the lottery in my bar. I was like, holy crap! So the beauty of it is, I make money off. I make a percentage of what I sell, and I make a percentage of what I cash in, and sure as shit too, I'm making money off what other people, jackpots and stuff like that too. So I'm making a bunch of money. So when I scratch, when I lose, I win. When I win, I win. When you win, I win.
Dude, remember I won the other night? Yeah. I bought a $5 from you, and you're like, "Do you want to scratch it?" I'm like, "No, dude, hit that barcode."
I don't want to.
You have your same.
So you
do it every time, bro. It makes me so fucking happy. I'll sit at a table and literally shit my pants from laughing so hard. I have watched you with a 50 stack.
Oh yeah.
Flip, scratch, it scans, and you wait. You go. Bing! Woo!
Okay, the people that buy them and then okay, Jace, no. Then you got the ones that I equate it to like, okay, here is your lottery ticket. This is going to be your child. Now, do you want to go through the labor pains and scratch all the numbers and see if they match? It takes 14 seconds or 14 minutes to figure it out.
That's a
or
good
just scratch
point.
the barcode.
Yeah, if you got the fucking scanner in house, why would
give me
you
the
not
baby?
just get it?
I don't want that labor pain. Just give me the baby.
Right.
Exactly.
Hey, and the chance of you not paying enough attention and tossing something before.
Oh,
I'm scared that I've fucking done that before because I was throwing one in the trash 3 days ago. And it actually was a $10 win, which got me my money back.
That's a good point.
Think about how many people have missed out on money.
We've seen hundreds. We've seen $100 winners. People that have been drinking, and then they got to go. Their Uber's there, or whatever the case may be, and they leave them on the table. We'd never throw anything away without.
Very smart.
Absolutely.
Well, then I'll accidentally buy like a fucking Sudoku one. Like I don't even want to look at this.
People now
I just want to match the fucking number.
Okay, guys. So this is what we do now. People come in and say, "Let's buy a book." Let's and people want to go in on buying a whole book and trying to corner the market. Hopefully, you get a jackpot in there, even a $500 winner, so you can split your money back.
Right.
And sure as shit, that's what happens. Okay, 3 or 4 people go in. What happened here? 3 of us went in on a $5 book, which was $300. Cost us $100 each, and we scratched, and we still won. We hit a $400 winner. We thought, okay, great, we're going to be winners whenever we win. Mm-hmm. And about 10 tickets later, jackpot. And usually the jackpots are 1,000. That's the least one.
Yeah.
And then the girl said, "Here, take this, just scratch it while we do the rest. See how much? There's probably $1,000, $10,000.
Oh my god, that's ridiculous.
And that was on some $5 bangers.
Yeah.
This was the other night.
So
10 grand.
Yeah,
That's
this was like a few
insane.
days ago. So
week before my bar. Okay, so when I load, okay, the week before. So and when I load the tickets in, and I keep track of for the accounting and all that crap. So I load the tickets in, and I always buy. And people got the superstition. Let me tell you something. If there's any pattern to the lottery will be broke and bankrupt.
Yep.
There's no pattern. There's no rhyme or reason.
Mm-hmm.
So I always buy up to the first winner on a roll that I load in. I loaded it in the first ticket on a 30. It hit for a 30. Okay, good. I'll leave it alone. My bartender comes in.
That stack
I leave that stack alone for a little while.
I got you. Yeah.
Usually the next one's not going to be a winner. He bought the next ticket, number 2. Bang, $5,000 he won on that.
Oh shit!
The week before I hit the 10,000 last week. So We had two major jackpots in Pensacola at the same bar, which is kind of unheard of.
Yeah, that's
now,
fucking
now,
insane.
and now the word is out because we went to claim our money, and they're like, "Wow, what's going on down there at Badlands?"
Yeah. So now you're ordering more alcohol.
And now ordering more tickets too.
Right.
Yeah, there you go.
So probability can't really even be a factor, or odds in the lottery with scratch-offs.
There's no there
can't be.
Okay,
right?
the back of the book says there's an average of 1 in every
Grab a
4
few, please.
tickets will be a winner. Let's say how much you win. I've seen 6, 8, 9 tickets in a row have winners on them. I've seen 6, 8, 9 in a row with no winners. People think, okay, well, there was no winner on there. I watched. There's 4 tickets have been bought and no one won. The next one's got to be a winner, or it's got to be coming eventually.
Right.
There's just no rhyme or reason. If there was, like I said, the lottery would be broke and bankrupt. That's how they make their money.
Yeah.
But then again, there's people who win because they win. It's just, yeah.
Yeah, I remember a story of a 19-year-old kid a couple years ago here at one of these Texacos or something down the road, winning the $4,000 a week for life or whatever.
Yeah. Now
that's a cool one.
now
Far less you're
and then
actually getting right.
depending on the age, they take your probability of how long you're going to live, and then they say, okay, we'll pay you to give you a lump sum. If you take the whole thing, it's a lot less than if we got to pay you every year for the rest of your life.
Right.
Till age like 80 or 72,
Yeah.
whatever the age is. And of course, as old as I am, I would take a lump sum, obviously.
Right. So getting a $10,000 winning card, that's fucking insane. How excited were you? I mean, did you shit your fucking pants?
No, not really, because I knew we had to split it 3 ways.
Yeah.
I got 33-34, and the other 2 guys got 33-33. So I knew it wasn't 10,000. If it was my 10,000, I probably would have went to Biloxi the next day, or maybe even that night.
Yeah,
I would
hell
have
yeah.
jumped in the car.
So what's the process of that? I've always wondered, because I've only ever won enough to where it's like I'm just going back to the place in which I bought it and getting that out of their register. What's the process of winning?
I can cash in any tickets that were bought anywhere if they're winners. I encourage it because I make money off of what I cash in. I make a certain percentage. I let's put it this way. I make a lot of money. I don't know, a lot of money. I make a good living through the bar business on cashing in tickets and selling lottery. If I didn't make money, I wouldn't do it.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, because believe me, you lose a lot more than you win. You just hope to get that. Like that $10,000 winner. I make and that's why I say when I lose, I win because I make commission.
Right. Mm-hmm. So are you saying that you cashed in that $10,000 ticket in your own place of business?
No, you can't. Anything that's over 600, you have to go to the lottery office.
Okay, that's what I'm wondering.
So we had to go. So all 3 of us went to the lottery office. We all filled out the paperwork because they have to. Everyone's paying tax on their amount.
Yeah.
So what is that percentage?
The percentage that they are taxing, they don't tax us. They give you a W-2. Here's how much you won. You got to pay tax on your you got to pay tax. That's extra income.
As if a job just
Right.
paid you. Oh, okay,
exactly.
I got
You got a $3,000
okay.
bonus.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, I didn't know that either.
Now, another thing you can do is if you're really savvy like I am,
Oh,
Yeah.
I save all the losing lottery tickets because you can offset your losses for the amount of money you win.
Oh.
As far as what the government knows you won.
Yeah.
Now, there's $500 winners all the time, which you get 500 right out of the drawer. But that's not, they don't know anything about that.
Right.
If I won $8,000 last year, I got $8,000 worth of losing lottery tickets. That's part of a write-off. With
you didn't win anything at that point. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
So that brings my my gross income down back to where it was.
Heck yeah.
Huh.
See, I'm willing to bet that people who are willing to take those risks with like scratch offs with gambling or whatever, that's probably the reason why you're so successful in business. It's kind of a trend because I read a book called Men of Wealth, and the guys who are the most successful and make the most money, they go for broke all the time.
Well, look at the stock market.
Yeah.
I mean, you could do it. Go to Biloxi. I got people saying, "Why go to Biloxi? You know what? You want to gamble? Here, buy lottery tickets."
Exactly. Yeah.
Now there's what Keno is.
Keto or
Keno. You ever heard of Keno?
No.
Okay, Keno is a game that it's got 1 through 80 numbers. It's almost like bingo numbers, 1 through 80, and these ping pong every 5 minutes a new game starts. and the ping pong balls go up and light up the numbers that win, and you play your numbers, and hope you hope it's like the lottery.
Yeah,
but it's a game that happens every 5 minutes.
Yeah. Actually, my grandfather owns a pub in Portland, Oregon.
Okay,
and
so
they have that's their whole lottery. Yeah, that's what they do up there.
And New York, it's called quick draw. Same thing.
Okay.
They go to the bar. They go to the bars, and I'm telling you, they'll sit there for 6-8 hours, and they'll fill out the paper.
Yeah.
And you can play up to 20 times. They'll sit there and just watch those
People
things.
are diehards at that.
That's
shit,
cool.
Dude.
I would make triple the money. My cousin has a restaurant bar in Syracuse, and I know how much. I told him how much I make. I said, "Man, I'm making pretty good money." He said, "Yeah, I'm tripling that because I got
Because you got
Yeah.
Keto. So what would it take for you to implement that? And could you?
To take the state of Florida to get off their ass and realize it, because they've been getting bombarded. Because everybody from all over the country who keeps moving to Florida is looking for this part of the lottery.
Yeah.
And it'd be great for us. It'd be like legalized sports gambling,
Right.
Having all the odd TVs right above your regular TVs and being able to, go up to just like going up to the stupid lottery machine, punching, the Raiders to win by 3.5. Bang, $20. Here's your ticket. Maybe
Right.
you'll win. If they win, but you win 100 or something like that.
That's cool. Huh.
Yeah.
Heck yeah.
And that's what you need.
Hell yeah.
You ever hit the dog track?
I did the dog track once, and I actually won.
Okay, of course you did.
But it was when I first got here. This was like 30 years ago.
Yeah.
That was when I first got here, and like, oh man, dog track, sure. Because all we have up there in New York is horse racing, and they have what in New York State has what's called OTB, off track betting. You can go to these places. You can go and you can bet on the horses at Saratoga.
So you're 10 miles away.
And that over there, you have to go over there and it's all dogs.
I was gonna say, have you played a lot at Saratoga? Because my dad's side of the family is from Queensbury. They live up just by Lake George, and they
right
go
there
to
by Lake George.
Yeah, they go to they
Beautiful.
play in Lake George, and they play a lot of the time at Saratoga. So I imagine you spend a lot of time.
Saratoga's beautiful in the summertime, and they have this. I've seen this thing called that's called the SPEC, Saratoga Performing Arts Center.
Great place.
My buddy,
my dad saw his first concert there. He saw, God, I can't even remember who it is. It wasn't Journey. It wasn't Journey.
You tell your father. I saw Springsteen, the Grateful Dead.
My dad's
Genesis.
seen Springsteen and Grateful Dead there. And Genesis.
He was probably at the same shows that I was at then.
Probably.
How far away
Son?
Father!
How far away from Buffalo is this place y'all are talking about?
Syracuse to Buffalo is like 2.5 hours. So it's another 2.5 hours down there, so it's like 5 hours away.
So my mom, she grew up in Buffalo, New
Yeah.
York, and she's always told me stories about. She was a teenager. She saw Journey, the Beach Boys, Queen, all these bands, and I'm like, "Where? How Buffalo?
Yeah.
Like,
okay.
so
No.
So it must.
Let me tell you
I
about.
don't know.
Let me tell you. Okay, back when I was your age, guys, they used to have they were called Day of Rock and Rolls, Summerfest, whatever they were called, and you would have Buffalo, Rich Stadium. Okay, first band was April Wine from Canada, Rockers. Next band was Journey. This was 1978.
Yeah.
And when Journey was Journey, and when the Caddyshack movie and Any Way You Want It, they were right up on top. And then the next band was Atlanta Rhythm Section, but this because they had a #1 hit. But the Rolling Stones were the headliner. It was 4th of July in Rich Stadium. There were so many people in this stadium. They were climbing up the scoreboard stairs and sitting on top of the scoreboard. You could look at people lined across the top of the stadium. They were everywhere. Everything was all general admission back then. There were no seats. If you didn't want to stand up on the ground, you went and sat in the seat and you found an empty seat. There were no seats, no seating assignments. All the Day of Rock and Rolls, I saw Frampton there, Peter Frampton, Edgar and Johnny Winter. I can't even think of them all right off the bat. The Grateful Dead played there. Yes played there. Jay Giles, Bob Seger. I remember all these bands that played at Rich Stadium. They were all huge Day of Rock and Rolls.
Ritz? Are you saying Ritz Stadium?
No, Rich.
Rich
Stadium. Buffalo Bill Stadium was called Rich Stadium.
Yeah.
Back then, I don't know what it's called now.
Yeah.
So
some other name.
Do you think you're talking about how back then, like that situation, the fact people were climbing the scoreboards and stuff like that, and do you think that influence on music, the fact that people were just that excited and anxious to be able to experience that in that way, and the way it's transitioned now, obviously security and all that stuff, do you just think that kind of is a piece that's kind of missing from the music industry?
No, there's a lot. There's a lot of different things. Back then, there was so many great bands. I don't know what happened, but just look at the bands, look at the music. You could go from A to Z and see it nowadays, and it's not even being prejudiced or being nearsighted. I can't find enough music. I have to wait for Pearl Jam to release something new, or Foo Fighters to release something new, or holy shit, I'm going to see the Rolling fucking Stones that are 80 years old because they sound better than anything else. I remember 20 years ago, this band called Good Charlotte came out, and I would never forget it because my daughter said, listen, you got to listen to this band, and I hear this shit every year about a band. Well, okay, Nickel Crack, and all. I'm sorry, Nicky. I should watch out. I should watch what I say.
No, I don't like Nickelback. It's okay.
Or who's it? Coldplay and all this stuff. Some of this stuff, it's like pansy music. I'm like, oh my god, you're kidding me? It's repetitious. So go back to you now. As things progressed, look at the heavy metal. You got these other bands that have the mosh pit thing started. Mm-hmm. I would never. I don't care how much I liked Iron Maiden or Ministry or Primus or anything like that, but I wouldn't go and get the shit beat out of me and thinking that's okay. Yep. I don't know what that's all about, but that was a form of.
I don't understand
what it was.
It was.
And now, and they talk about these. Oh God, what is it? What is this? I don't want to step on toes here. No. EDM. They're going out and you're paying $100 to watch some guy up there, scratching
listen to
records.
A backtrack.
Yeah.
Yep. yeah.
But that's what some people like.
I would say that one of the biggest, most influential shows I've ever seen. And I was too young to really even appreciate it, but now I do look back on it and I'm like, damn, that was insane. I've grown up going to Jazz Fest in New Orleans my whole life. Literally ever since I was in the womb, I've been going to Jazz Fest every year. And I saw Robert Plant play there back in I think it was it was probably
5 years ago.
Yeah, it was probably 5 years ago. Yeah. And at that time I'm 17, so I was 11, 12, and I kind of was like, we were just leaving. We were leaving. He was playing Gentilly stage, and we were just leaving. And we were like, holy shit, there's no way we're missing out on this. My dad was freaking out.
Yeah.
And we stopped and we watched it. And it was now I'm looking back and what I remember from it, I was like, that was amazing. And I even watched the video replay back. And so for you, what kind of shows like that were the kind of first thing come to your mind that you were like, damn,
my first concert was the Grateful Dead. It was 1973. I was 14 years old, a freshman in high school, and I saw the Grateful Dead. My older brother and some of my older brother's buddies took all the younger brothers. There were 5 or 8 of us, and we had to go 3 hours before the show started because they said you've got to see the parking lot thing, and it was like a traveling sideshow. Everybody the Grateful Dead people went to every show, and they went to the next city, but they sold clothing or food, or they would sell peanut butter and jelly sandwiches for $1 out front just to make a buck to get a ticket to get in and then get to the next show. Shows that were transcendent was the Rolling Stones 78 because it was the 4th of July. My first Springsteen concert, he played for 4 hours. And when I mean 4 hours, started at 8 o'clock and he played for an hour and a half. And that's a normal concert. We'll be back in 20 minutes for the second half of the show. Come back for another hour and a half. And then the encore was done for an hour with the lights on. The lights the show's over. The lights on for an hour. And if you go back and look at the 1980 River Tour, there's bootlegs out there. I was as hot and as sweaty and as tired as he was.
Yeah.
This is the way things were back then. It was just, it's almost like drugs used to be back then.
Yeah.
People wanted to turn people on to good drugs. It wasn't like trying to overdose people and all this other crap and junk and shit they make in the bathtub. And who the fuck started eating Tide Pods? I want to know who the first person was. I want to know who the first person was.
That's this guy's generation.
Yeah, that's right. Are you kidding me? We were just the drugs were pure back then. You didn't have to worry. It was like you getting turned on. I'll give you a perfect example. Okay, really quick. I know I'm taking over. Really quick.
No.
This is what we wanted, Nick.
I went from my college to Montreal was 2 hours. I went to go see David Bowie in Montreal. And this was 1980. I was my third year of college. I remember 7 of us in a van, and we all took some special kind of tablets, which was with real pure acid back then.
Some CIA
Okay.
special.
I think it was. Oh no, I know what it was. Oh, you guys won't believe it. Okay. Anyways, we went to the.
Please.
7 of us.
Please.
7 of us. This was liquid acid. You ever had liquid before? No. This is an eyedropper. Listen to me. $2.50 a drop. We got one in each. It just was like eye drops, and I'm telling you, because this was real. This was real tripping. What it was all meant to be, and not garbage to make you for your brain fry. I would never touch anything these days, God. But that's what it was. And there were 7 of us in the van. The guy who was driving didn't. We went to the show, and we came back. And I'm telling you, what was better than the whole concert, when we got to the top, it was like 2 o'clock in the morning, we got to the top of one of the rest areas, on the top of one of the mountains, coming back. And we all had to go to the bathroom. So the van opens up, and we're cranking Pink Floyd Animals. And I'm telling you, Pink Floyd Animals, if you're ever stoned or whatever you're doing, put on Pink Floyd Animals from start to finish. You'll never do it. You'll never play anything else again when you're fucked up like that.
Right.
Yeah.
We got to the top of the mountain, and we all had to go out and take a piss. We opened up the van doors. We got out. It's pitch black. No lights, no nothing. All of a sudden, everybody sees the same thing. The sky is just rolling colors. We forgot the Aurora Borealis. The Northern Lights were all night. Everybody laid back on their backs like this.
Oh my God!
What?
Until the crack of dawn, you couldn't see them anymore. And the beauty of a cassette tape in the van was it just played over and over again. So we're just listening to Pink Floyd Animals. It was better than the David Bowie concert.
That's awesome.
Oh, God. I shouldn't be telling stories like this.
Well, thank you for telling them.
People,
this is beautiful.
Sorry, people aren't gonna get to experience that ever again, because that part of history is never gonna be repeated. So you have this part of history and you're sharing it. It needs to be documented. People,
absolutely.
People used to. Okay, I remember one night at my uncle's restaurant, this guy named Billy Martin walked in, who was the manager of the New York Yankees, because Syracuse Chiefs were the farm team, and I didn't have a camera. And I swore I would always have a camera from then on. I have pictures from back then, because there were no cameras, no cell phones. So I have pictures of shit that. Well, let's put it this way. There's a stack of pictures that are hidden away in one of my speakers that I unscrewed the woofer and they're in there. No one will ever get to it unless I can figure out what speaker it's in.
You know why the Yankees are so good? It's not because they're good at baseball. It's because they can't keep their eyes off those damn pinstripes.
That's right, baby.
26 of them.
Really?
26 rings.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Not pinstripes. I don't know how many.
Yeah, I was like, holy shit.
Maybe they add a pinstripe for every World Series ring. Maybe there are 26.
They get more and more until it's just a solid black uniform.
So getting back the music, the music, and it was there was always there was a saying. There's a use and then there's an abuse, and with the drugs back then, with everything, it was just you use it and you enjoyed the experience. It was just. Or else I'd be a vegetable by now with all the shit that I'd be a vegetable if it wasn't good shit and pure and all that crap.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
But I've been to over 800 concerts. Let's see, between Springsteen, Yes, and Genesis, over 100 times. Okay. Just those 3 bands.
Wow.
And so, kind of what I'm gleaning from this is the issue has become most of modern concerts are more for making a profit, and I feel like what you're describing to me is, and what I'm seeing is, a lot of these modern bands don't actually know how to play music. And so what happens is, back in your day, they grew up playing music. They knew how. They were masters of their instruments. So they could go out on stage and they could say, hey, you know what? They told the lead singer, I feel good tonight. They could play for 5 hours if they wanted to, just make stuff up. And that's what I think is missing.
Back then, you had to listen to Springsteen. He started out doing mall openings. He played at grocery store parking lots. He played in high school gyms. These people all had to pay their dues and get experience and get exposed and work their craft. It's not like, you become Led Zeppelin just because your name is Led Zeppelin or Robert Plant's got these flowing locks. Yeah. And that's what it was back then. They all paid their dues. And you're right. I go to concerts. I used to, people bring dates to concerts. I go with 5 people and shit. Somebody might have a bad time. We do this. You get to argue with the girlfriend. I always went to concerts alone because I don't care who's sitting next to me. I flew all the way to see Springsteen a few weeks ago on Broadway by myself on my birthday because I didn't want to have to deal with anybody else. I got in. I was on a mission to see Springsteen and get out. And a lot of the shows I do that because, like you were saying, it's more of an experience. We're all going to Voodoo Fest or whatever X Fest, whatever it is.
Yeah.
And it's like a party for everybody to go and have a party at. And happens to be music where, like you were saying, you go to a concert, it's about the music, and you know what? If you run into some people who are boogie woogieing, and you see some girl or see some guys, and hey, have a party with them.
Mm-hmm.
So like you said, I think a lot of it this day and age is about the money, and we gotta go to this event.
Yeah,
we gotta be there. We gotta be seen there.
Right, exactly. The centric value is just different. It's like I have the money to go here.
Yep.
And I went here with all my friends. I know you know how much fun I'm having.
Hashtag Hangout Fest.
Right.
Fuck that shit.
Yeah.
It's like it's almost like the social media thing. It's like okay, I get it's like we gotta go to this bar because this bar it's all over Instagram and Snapgram and InstaChat and MyFace, Facebook, and all that shit like that. We got to go here. But, of course, the drinks are $4 more. The bartender's heating up the thing, and it takes 8 minutes to get a drink. And I just want a drink. It's like that. You got to go. You got to go to a place to be seen, and you got to go to a show to be seen.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people who would never go to go see the Rolling Stones next month. I'm going all the way to Tampa to see the Rolling Stones, and they're 80 fucking years old. They have their own sounds. I saw them 2 years ago when they were 78 years old, and I couldn't. They had the Superdome packed, and it sounded like They have their own sound system. They have their own traveling sound system, their own traveling people.
Yeah.
Their own everything. And it sounded awesome. At 78, even at that age.
And, that's another thing I want to touch on. These old rock and roll bands, they have a sound engineer and they have sound guys that they've worked with for years, for decades. And that's a big issue is because you have these, you have hip-hop guys coming in, very new artists. It's a big part of a production to work with your sound guy. And people don't realize that because you have to have a good sound guy who knows, okay, he's about to hit this high note and he's going to hit the shit out of it. I need to turn him down a little bit. That's a big part of it, too.
And every other aspect of the business.
Yep.
Being able to actually trust your team, especially now when the value is different. As I'm trying to get a leg up. I don't care if I have to use this band to hop to a big one.
It's created an issue because you have to hire this company for your lighting, then you got to hire a sound engineering company, then you got to hire a video production company. You got to hire all these people who don't give a fuck about you, as opposed to Led Zeppelin, Rolling Stones. They've been working with the same people for decades, and so you get a better production out of it.
It's a lot of times those people are going to make you sound the way they want you to sound versus the way you want to sound. It's what it's like. It's like a wedding planner.
Yep.
They do the flower. You go in and okay, well, we should do this, and I want this, and this. And she said, well, if you're gonna do these, you should maybe try this and try that, because she's got something in her head that she wants to do. But the girl that's getting married, it's her wedding.
Yeah.
So it should be done the way she wants it. So a lot of ways it's the same way.
Yep, I agree.
Boy, you guys, some of the stories you said.
No, man,
thank you.
This has been amazing.
Thank you so much.
This
is even better than we imagined.
I'll give you another example of what happened. Okay, back then when I was growing up, the drinking age was 18. The year I got to college, it was still 18. It was 1977. In the spring of 78, my freshman year, this movie came out called Animal House.
Oh, yeah.
Carter was president. It turned into a free-for-all. Everybody wanted to be John Belushi. Everybody wanted to be Faber College. Every frat house wanted to be the Delta House. It was just out of control. All the way through 80, you wanted your college to make the top 100 list of 2-year, 4-year school party colleges.
Yeah.
That was the whole thing. Rolling Stone magazine, it was the biggest thing to happen every year. It was so out of control and it was so nuts that 1980 Reagan becomes president. The war on drugs started. The moral majority started. The drinking age went from 18 to 19, then to eventually 21, because we just went out of our minds. There was no letting back.
Yeah.
And no, I'll drink to that. Thank you very much.
Cheers.
I have pictures. One of these days, I'll walk the pictures down here.
Oh, that'd be great, man.
If I remember which speaker I got them hidden in.
We're gonna need to have you on again in the next few weeks.
Yeah.
This has been amazing.
Yeah, thank you so much, man. I think that's a good note to end on, but there's so much more I want to ask you, so we'll definitely do this again, and I'm sure that our fans are going to ask for you back.
Yeah.
Well, we should.
Positive.
Well, yeah, hopefully most of your fans, they're not going to know who I am, and don't research me.
You heard the man.
Who the fuck is this guy? Who is this guy? What has he done?
And God fucking damn it. Please like and subscribe. I always forget to say it at the beginning, Nick. I have a problem because it's very rare that people watch to the end. So I should be saying, please like and subscribe at the beginning. So it's kind of an ongoing joke that we have going. And it's just better to do it at the end now because it's funny. Because I legitimately forget.
Yeah.
This is not an ongoing joke. Thank you so much for coming on here, man. We really appreciate it. We love you. We love your bar.
Yep.
Glad you're our neighbor. Anything you want to exit out with? Plug anything? Plug your bar? Give the address?
Trust me when I tell you everything is true. I did it. I've done it. I have documentation.
Hell yeah, that's beautiful.
A lot of people don't.
Yeah.
Wow. But thank you. I'd like, every once in a while, it's nice to jog the memory and talk about the good old days and the way things were. It's too bad you weren't born 40 years ago.
I know.
And in a lot of ways, it's too bad I was born 40 years ago.
Yeah.
I couldn't, because you guys got all your life.
Yeah. I'm glad we are where we are.
Yeah.
And that's a good relationship.
We're musicians at heart, so I kind of feel like we should say, if you're going out downtown, Palafox, if you're trying to go to Wild Greg's, second think it. Go across the street, go to Badlands. There's real rock and roll paraphernalia. If you love music, go across the street to Badlands. It's going to pay off. I guarantee it.
And if you're a musician out there, stick to your guns. What you believe in, somebody else will. Trust me when I tell you. Don't conform to anybody else's standards or what everybody else might think you should be doing.
Yep.
Do what you'd want to do. Any way you want to do it. Art. Your art form is what counts.
Beautiful, man.
Beautiful.
Well, that's a great note to end on. Thank you guys so much. Please like and subscribe. Hit us up. Any questions you have, whatever, please comment. Like this shit up. Nick, we love you. And we're Twice a Week.
Let's have a chat.